The book that is currently changing my life is called Letters on Ethics. It was written by a man named Seneca, who was a Stoic philosopher and advisor to Emperor Nero in the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago, which is pretty crazy to me that a book written so long ago can still apply to today and still have such an impact on the way that at least I view life and all the sorts of problems that I encounter and stuff. The solutions seem to still be in this book, even though it was written so long ago. And I think the biggest takeaway from that is that in 2,000 years, human nature and the problems we go through and the problems we find ourselves having to deal with hasn't changed. Like, those problems haven't changed at all. Our nature hasn't changed at all. Who we are as a species, who we are as individuals, none of that has changed in 2,000 years, which is why this book is still so relevant. It was translated by Margaret Graver. I think she belongs to some sort of university, but basically, thank God, I'm so in debt to her for taking all these letters and translating them into a way that most people could understand. But basically, I'm just going to talk about how this book is changing my life, and yeah, I felt like I should make a video on it. This is what it looks like, at least this translation. It's just Seneca, Letters on Ethics. It's actually a more expensive book, unfortunately, so, but there are free versions of the letters, like audiobooks on YouTube and online, so you don't have to buy the book if you don't want to. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations introduced me to philosophy, but Seneca and his letters are what is making me, fall in love with it and what is making me want to pursue philosophy to a deeper level. Every category for my life, from how I deal with fortune, fate, the problems that are thrown at me that aren't necessarily my fault or not of my doing, how I handle those, or just basically any other problems, managing my time and being aware of what I'm doing during the day and being aware of the slim resource that we call time that no one really cares about. It's making me pay closer attention to basically everything I do throughout the day. It's helping me deal and interact with other human beings, looking at that differently, not giving in to temptations, being the strongest man that you can be, following the laws of nature. He basically describes nature as just the universal law setter, if that makes any sense. You only need to do what nature demands, and you only need, just in general, what nature demands. As far as desires, I've had a lot of superficial materialistic desires in the past, and this book is really helping me get rid of all of those and understand that I really don't need anywhere near as much as I thought I did. There is 100 and something letters in here, and I'm not even a quarter of the way through it, and I'm already making this video because it's just so impactful. Some of the things Seneca says, I feel my soul vibrate after I read it. It's just so, I don't even know how to describe it. I just cannot believe that a man was writing this 2,000 years ago. It just makes absolutely no sense to me how men back then were. It's just that I think we underestimated men back then and the philosophers and the people and how wise they were. I think today we think we are so advanced and so smart and that we know everything and that all the civilizations of the past were nowhere near us. And this book really just brings into perspective that that's not true at all. And if I'm being honest, I don't know anyone in this world today who is as wise as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius and Epicurus and all these guys. They had life figured out as much as you could possibly have life figured out. Far more than anyone today. No one today and anywhere on social media, anyone I've met in real life is saying anything even remotely close to, the level of what Seneca says in these letters and, Marcus Aurelius and all of them. This book is making me want to better myself and just, not just broadly, in a career sense or in a self-improvement way like most self-help books nowadays lay out. It's making me want to improve myself in a way that feels natural and feels like, yeah, this is the path forward. This is the way it's supposed to be. The way nature wants it to be, and the way that it's just the only way forward. It's the only way to act as a human being. Of course, that's an opinion. It's obviously not the only way to act as a human being, but it's the way that I feel is the only way. If that makes any sense. I know I just said the same like 5 words over and over again. But yeah, that's just how I'm feeling about the book so far. Once again, I'm only a quarter way through this. I mean, and the reason I'm going through it so slow is because I read it once, and then I read a letter once, and then I have to read it all over again so I can like truly understand it and it can truly sit with me. Because some letters, it's a little hard to understand exactly what he's saying. But if you read it over again, then you're like, oh, this is what that means, and this is what that means. It's so impactful. It's just crazy some of the stuff I'm reading out of this. I know I've said that like 5 times now, but I can't emphasize enough how helpful some of these words are that Seneca lays out in these letters. And he wrote these letters not just for Lucilius' purpose. Lucilius is who he's writing these letters to. He was mentoring this man. He wrote them for just so they could move on to other people as well. He wanted these letters to last, and he wanted these letters to go on to future generations so they could help people. So that's one reason why this book is so helpful to read, or these letters, I should say. But yeah, that's basically me just hyping up this book for 5-10 minutes, whatever that was. Once again, you can get these free online, or I'm going to continue making videos talking about certain letters or just subjects in general that he goes over and over again. So you can continue watching my videos if you want to get more of this, or you could just buy the book and read it yourself. I know many people aren't readers nowadays, but it's free online. You can spend the money, or you can just look up videos on them any way you want. But I highly suggest this because I want nothing more than for people to improve and to get better and to succeed in life when it comes to what nature demands, and this is just one of the best ways forward. Of course, there's so much more literature, but right now this is basically my first introduction to philosophy, and it's just completely changed my perspective on so much, more than any self-help book ever has. So I highly recommend it. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day.